All right, question of the week, MBLEx review number 22. Our question is, which of the following bones contains an attachment site known as the coronoid process? Is it going to be A, the occipital, B, the tibia, C, the sternum, or D, the mandible? One more time. Which of the following bones contains an attachment site known as the coronoid process? Is it the occipital, the tibia, the sternum, or the mandible? So I'll give you a few moments to work on this one, and then we'll go ahead and head over to the explanation. All right, so in the community tab, I asked you which of the following bones contains an attachment site known as the coronoid process. And so 7% of you said it was the occipital, 11% of you said it was the tibia, 56% of you said it was the sternum, and then 26% of you said it was the mandible. And then thank you to the 6 people who liked this post. So a majority of you said it was going to be the sternum. So let's go ahead and see if this is the correct answer. So first we need to figure out what is the coronoid process. So we're going to take a look at the different word parts here. So remember that corono is going to be the Latin prefix for corona, crown, or something curved. Now the oid is the suffix meaning for resembling. So it is going to be resembling something curved. Now a process is going to be a bony projection. So coronoid process is a curved bony projection. So we're looking for a curved bony projection known as the coronoid process. So let's go ahead and take a look at the occipital first. Right here on the posterior aspect of the skull, we have the occipital bone. Now, the most prominent bony projection on the occipital bone is going to be the external occipital protuberance. And this is something that you can palpate. If you put your hand in the back of your skull, you should be able to feel this bony projection right here. And so this is going to serve as an attachment site for the ligamentum nuchae and the trapezius. However, this is not the correct answer because it is known as the external occipital protuberance, and we're looking for the coronoid process. So this is not the correct answer. So here we have the anterior view of the tibia, and we're going to take a look at a few of its bony features. The first one is the tibial tuberosity. Now this is going to serve as an attachment site for the patellar ligament, which runs from the tibial tuberosity to the patella. And so it's a really interesting ligament because in the anterior compartment of the thigh we have our quadriceps, and the quadriceps are going to run down and create a tendon that attaches to the patella. From the patella to the tibial tuberosity is the ligament. And so it goes from muscle to tendon to bone to ligament and then to bone again. And so this tibial tuberosity is an attachment site for this really interesting muscle that runs right here that goes from muscle, tendon to bone to ligament and then to bone. And so it's really neat, but this is not the coronoid process. So let's take a look at another bony feature. We have the medial malleolus. This is another area that we can palpate. If you go ahead and palpate the medial aspect of your ankle, you should be able to feel the medial malleolus. And this is going to serve as an attachment site for ligaments in our ankle. However, this is not the coronoid process. So the tibia is not the correct answer. Next, we have the sternum. Here we have the anterior view of the sternum. And so we have the manubrium, then we have the sternal body, and then we have the xiphoid process. Now the xiphoid process is going to be a bony projection. However, its word parts mean xiphoid is the prefix for sword shaped. Oid, remember, is the suffix for resembling. So it's resembling a shape of a sword. Remember that process is a bony projection. So a xiphoid process is a sword shaped bony projection. And the xiphoid process is going to serve as an attachment site for our abdominal muscles. So the xiphoid process is not the coronoid process. So the sternum is not the correct answer, leaving us with the mandible. So here we have the lateral view of the mandible bone. And on this mandible bone, we have a bony feature known as the coronoid process. So it's going to be this shaded area that is in red. So right here we have the coronoid process, and this is going to serve as an attachment site for the temporalis muscle. The temporalis muscle is going to originate at the temporal fossa, and it's going to insert into this coronoid process of the mandible. And it's going to give the mandible the ability to move upward, backward, and side to side, giving us the ability to chew and bite down on our food. So this is the coronoid process, making the mandible the correct answer. So 26% of you got this answer correct. So if you did not get this answer correct, I would encourage you to make sure you dive back into your textbooks and make sure you go over every single major muscle's origin, insertion, and action, as well as learn the bony features of the skeletal system. Now, if you need some more help, I would encourage you to check out my Patreon page where I go into more detail on the bony features as well as the major muscles' origins, insertions, and actions. All right, y'all have a wonderful week ahead, and I will see you in the next question of the week. Y'all take care.